This video is on B3, also known as niacin. I learned about how extremely important it is for mental health and for the human diet, and how deficient most Americans are in B3. They don't even realize they're deficient in it. They're taking medications they don't even need for depression when most of them are just suffering from a B3 vitamin deficiency. I'm not saying everybody that's depressed is suffering from that, but I can guarantee that would probably shave off half the people taking antidepressants in America if they got tested for B3, like truly tested the right way for a niacin deficiency. I can guarantee you they would probably be coming off of their depression meds. I want to talk about that a little bit and just discuss how I learned about it and its importance for the mind. Back in 2010, I had delivered my twins. I want to say it was maybe 2011. I want to say they were like a year old. I started suffering from extremely bad depression, what they call like the baby blues. I couldn't figure out why I was so down, why I was so paranoid, why I was so depressed, why I didn't want to be around people, why I wanted to just lock myself up in the house and just sleep all the time. I had no idea. I prayed about it and I asked the Lord to give me information on this. It's funny because a few days later, I ended up getting the answer. You know, when you're thirsty for information, you tend to pay attention. I just happened to be paying attention that day, and there it was. I'm sitting in my living room and I'm watching a documentary unrelated to B3 or niacin. It was just a documentary that caught my eye for some reason, and it's not like a documentary that I would normally watch. It seemed like it was a documentary about a man trying to lose weight, and he went on a juice fast, and he met this truck driver that was overweight, and he helped him go on this juice fast and lose a bunch of weight. He went into talking about how the body can heal itself and how it can repair cells and tissue just from vitamins and nutrients from our food, from our diet. And I want to say he put on there, it was like the Hippocrates, let food be thine medicine, or something like that. And don't quote me on that. Look it up. He was gathering information and facts just to put out there in this documentary and prove how important the diet is and food is for healing, and how much of our healing is reliant on our nutrition, specifically because of the vitamins and the nutrients that we get from our nutrition. And I want to say it was on this documentary that he even went into a case study where he had learned a doctor that was visiting this patient at a hospital. He was like a mental patient. This mental patient had tried to unalive himself several times, so he was under pretty high surveillance at this mental facility. They had to bar his windows and everything because he kept trying to climb out the windows and unalive himself. This guy just went cuckoo. He was seeing things. There was just all kinds of stuff going on with this guy. Typical to what you would find in like a schizophrenic. These symptoms didn't develop in him until he was like, I want to say 16 or 17. So all his life he was normal. This wasn't something he was born with. It was just like came on all of a sudden, and he was put in this mental hospital and nobody knew what to do with him. It seemed like, I remember I see you. Sorry, that needs to be a video for another day, but I do have abilities. I can see stuff. I can see orbs and flashes of light and stuff. I have angels that I've been seeing them since my twins were born. I've had a lot of help. I get a lot of my information from Yahuwah, and I see my flashing orb over here next to me. I've seen it like 3 times while I'm trying to tell this story, which is crazy because in the other videos I was making this evening, this is my 3rd video I've made this evening, I didn't see it, and all of a sudden it popped up when I was making this video about B3. So apparently this must be a very important video I need to get out. So anyways, thank you for your confirmation. This documentary, on there, it was discussing about how, you know, these doctors were like, they were doing a case study on him, and they were trying to like figure out what to do with this mental patient. Apparently there was a guy there who was just fresh out of med school. He was touring or visiting the mental hospital with other doctors. He was along the ride, I guess, for this case study. And he visited the patient's room, and he got to see the patient and all that. And while he was there, he was hearing the story and hearing about like his diagnosis and how he received his diagnosis and when all this started occurring. And he thought, well, hold on a minute. Like, I remember doing a paper or research paper in school about the importance of vitamin C and the importance of specifically B3, which is niacin. What the effects of a deficiency of those two vitamins can do to the human body and the mind. He shared this with these doctors, and he's like, from what I remember from my paper that I did, I looked at a case study and did some research on this one patient that was having the same symptoms as this guy. I mean, it was like almost textbook. A doctor ended up treating him with IV vitamin C and high doses of pharmaceutical grade niacin B3. And he ended up recovering immediately. He no longer had schizophrenia. He no longer was trying to unalive himself. He no longer had those diagnoses. He was completely and absolutely 100% healed, like within that day. They were already checking him out within 48 hours of this mental hospital that he'd been confined to for who knows how long. And when he told the doctors this, they were shocked, and they were like, well, let's try and see if this works. Let's try it on this guy. So they ended up trying it on the guy, and sure enough, that's all it was. It was a severe vitamin C deficiency along with a severe niacin deficiency. When I saw this on that video, it's like I'd received the answer to my prayer. I knew that I was given that information divinely from heaven through that video. It was talking to me and telling me, it's B3. You're deficient in B3. Take B3. First thing I did was go on Amazon and I looked for pharmaceutical grade niacin. Found a bag of powder niacin B3 for I think $11 or something like that, and ordered it. Told my husband all about it. I said, if this works, this is groundbreaking. This is a breakthrough. I'm going to tell everybody about this. This is amazing. I have suffered with this for so long after the boys were born. I can't believe it's just something so simple as a B3 deficiency. I also took mine with vitamin C because it was recommending it in the video. But it was that video that told me about that. That's where I learned and got the information from. I've had that happen to me so many times where I was looking for information and it was right there in like an email or a video. I just happened to be tuned in and paying attention and listening, and I was like, ooh, maybe it's that. Let me try that. And so I kind of guinea pigged myself and tried all these different things, and sure enough, everything that I've tried so far that I've learned or received that information, and I knew I was receiving it from God, I tried, absolutely worked. I had another experience with NAC and N-acetylcysteine during COVID when I was like just about couldn't breathe. Had COVID before anybody knew what COVID was. Suffered from that and got that information given to me through a junk email that I normally throw away, but for whatever reason, the headline of that email grabbed my attention. It said, "Can you not breathe? Do you?" And I was like, whoa, yeah, I can't. Well, let me read this. So I read it, and so it was like a soliciting email for natural supplements through a company I was no longer ordering from. Instead of throwing it away, I read it. And because I read that, I ended up learning about NAC, and I was like, I actually think I have some in my cabinet, which I did. And I took that, and that's what ended up healing me and helping me during COVID, which we didn't even know what COVID was at the time because the news wasn't talking about, nobody was talking about COVID. I was going to the doctor telling him, like, what is this? Asking me to do chest x-rays on me because I thought I had pneumonia. I said, I can't breathe. What is this? They didn't know what it was because there was no test for COVID at the time. There was no way to find out what COVID was at the time because I had it, like, I was one of the earlier cases. Like, I was one of the earlier people that had it before anybody knew what it was. When this outbreak first started and it hadn't been publicized yet. That's how I learned about the NAC, was through prayer, and took it, and it ended up healing me almost instantly. Like within just a few hours, I took it and I could breathe. It worked that quick. So this is why I'm so big on vitamins and supplements, information and the knowledge that I've received over the years from my angelic help, from the highest heavens. I'm telling you, anytime that I don't know something and I can't find it through Dr. Berg, first thing I do is ask my angel team, like, hey, what is this? Or Yahusha, Jesus, what is this? Help me, give me the answer, and they usually do. They're usually pretty right on, and then I'll go do what they say and it fixes it. I just wanted to share that information about B3, niacin, and yes, so I did buy the powder, and I did take it, and immediately it did work that quick. It was a powder that you pour a fourth of a teaspoon of it in water and drink. It tastes awful. It tastes like really bad lemons or something, but just really bad. Like, it's awful. It's just horrible. I pinched my nose to drink it, but I got it down. I did take the kind that makes you flush. That's the one you want, because if you take synthetic B3, it's hard on the liver, and so you don't want that. So you want pharmaceutical grade niacin, the kind that actually makes your face turn red and flush. It can be uncomfortable taking it. It can be scary because it starts making your heart beat fast, but that's because you're just getting extra blood flow. If you've never taken niacin, but let's say, do you remember in the 90s when everybody was tanning and tanning beds were big? They had the tanning lotion that had the tingle factor in it that you put on your skin, and it made your skin turn bright red and you get hot. And then you would go tan with that on you and then get like super crispy. That has niacin in it. That's what's making you tingle and get the red skin. It's just bringing all your blood to the surface so that you tan better. That's really all niacin is. It's a detoxifant. It does detoxify you and get crud out of your body. I watched some videos about 9/11. I found this very interesting. There was a guy that had been exposed to a lot of the toxins, wastes from when the buildings had burned. He was a fireman, and he was saving lives and pulling people out of the burning buildings. He was having to smell all that soot and smoke and chemicals that were in the air, because there was chemicals. If you remember watching the videos of people walking up and down the streets of Manhattan, they had those masks on because they couldn't even breathe, because it was so heavily filled with chemical residue and smoke that was highly toxic to their lungs. It could kill you. And there were some people that died from lung disorders. This firefighter apparently had started suffering lung issues, horrible other symptoms and nerve pain and stuff from all the toxic overload of what he had breathed in when he was saving lives on, that day on 9/11 when all that stuff happened. Somehow, some way or another, he learned about niacin and being a detoxifier, and how it cleanses the blood, cleanses the fat cells, it literally opens up your fat cells and pushes toxins out of them. Somehow he had heard, don't quote me on how or where he heard this from, but this firefighter had heard about taking niacin, which is B3, the flushing kind that makes you flush, to remove these toxins, and to go sit in a sauna and sweat it out. He did that, and he said that when he took the niacin and sat in a sauna, that he literally sweated purple stuff. Like crap was coming out of his pores that were like purple and weird looking, and he was like, what the heck is this? Apparently that was some of the toxins. Why it was purple, I don't know. So when I saw that, I don't remember where I saw that at, where I heard that from. I just remember it was a 9/11 firefighter that said he took niacin, and that had helped him and flushed that out of his system. And he was better. He no longer had the lung problems. He no longer had all the nerve pain, the fibromyalgia, all of that completely went away. So he knew it was just neurotoxicity from the toxins that he had breathed from 9/11. And the niacin is what saved his life. Amazing. I mean, it's just amazing stuff, what that stuff does for you. NAC works the same way. It's also a detoxifant specifically for the lungs. So it also does the same thing, draws toxins out of the lungs, but also opens up the alveolar sacs of the lungs, from what I remember. It seems like it did that. Don't quote me on that. And removes anything in your lungs that's not supposed to be there. So if you were an ex-smoker or are a smoker, NAC will be your best friend. Got off topic a little bit there with some of the other things I was talking about, like the NAC, but seriously, the B3, the niacin, is a lifesaver. It helped me. It did fix me like pretty quickly. You can take the non-flush kind and it will help you as well. I just don't recommend taking something like that long term, because like I said, it can be damaging to the liver. The way I do the niacin, I don't take B3 all the time. If you do take the nutritional yeast tablets, like I was talking about in another video, that's your natural source of B vitamins. Like if you're going to do a B complex, don't go online ordering a B complex. Just do yeast tablets, nutritional yeast tablets. They have everything you need in there. So B3, all that will be in there. Just take that every day. to keep up with your B vitamins, and especially B3. Once you've flooded the barrel and you've already kind of got rid of all your deficiencies, then that would be good maintenance. But if you are suffering from a severe B3 deficiency, don't just go take some yeast tabs and think it's going to fix it. You're gonna need to take high doses of niacin, and I recommend the pharmaceutical grade niacin. I take it in a powder form. I don't know if they have a pharmaceutical grade that you can take in capsule forms. I don't know. Maybe they do now, but I've only known them to have the one that is in powder form that you have to add to water and then like drink real fast because it's disgusting. It tastes awful. I can't stomach it, honestly, but it works. And yes, if you have a sauna or go to a sauna, I do recommend, because I'm not a doctor, so don't quote me on any of this. I'm not going to be held responsible for any of this. This is all entertainment purposes for entertainment. This is all for entertainment purposes only. Take the niacin, go sit in a sauna, or go sit in your car with the windows up or something. Son, I didn't tell you to do that, okay? I'm just saying, sweat it out. Find your own way. Let me put it that way. Don't listen to me on the car thing, okay? Find your own way to sweat it out, whether it be a sauna or wherever you want to go to get that flushed out of your system if you're doing it to cleanse yourself. If you're doing it for depression, it's just great to take. I only do it when I feel like I really need it. I used to take it about once a month because the flush is so severe. It's kind of scary. The flush is so severe that but it's not hurt. I promise you, it's not hurting you. It's supposed to do that. So if you find your adrenaline start going up and your neck start getting hot and you start getting itchy and tingly, that's great. It's pulling toxins out of you. That's why you're itching and tingling. It's pulling blood to the surface. That's why you're tingling. Just know that that's normal and don't freak out about it. Because the first time I took it, I freaked out. It scared me. And I almost didn't want to take it there for a while, but I researched a lot on it and was like, okay, this is normal. It's okay. I don't have to take it that often now because I do stay up on top of taking the nutritional yeast tablets. No need for me to take the niacin unless I just feel like it every once in a while for just healthy detox, which I do every once in a while, like every so many months or so. I'm like, hey, I haven't taken niacin in a while. I feel froggy. I need to get these toxins out of me. Let's take some niacin. So sometimes I'll go and do that. That's how I found out about it. That's how it works. That's how important it is. And B1, B3, NAC, all of these are very important. There's lots of important ones, but these are huge ones. B1 and B3 are definitely huge ones that are so underrated that people don't know about, that are causing a lot of some of the health crises we're seeing today. Some of the mental health issues we're seeing today, depression, anxiety, and all that, easily be cured, fixed with a simple pill, a simple B1 pill, or B1 tablet, or B3 niacin capsule or powder. Like I said, for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a doctor. Please, if you have any health issues that you need checked out, please go see your doctor. All right, that's it.